All right, here's our video. Federalist versus Anti-Federalists. And I'm not talking about the Federalist Party that would happen because Washington was the first president and his party was the Federalists, and so was Adams, and those were the only two people that were the Federalists as far as being president. So this is before Washington became president. This is simply about if you supported the Constitution. So if you supported the Constitution, you were a Federalist. And if you didn't support it, you were an Anti-Federalist. So we'll talk about some of these people that you see here. Washington didn't publicly say whether he supported it or not. So let's get my pen going over here. Oh, we know that's Washington. Very famous picture. In his private letters, he did support the Constitution. Now, Franklin, he had some doubts about the Constitution. He wanted it to be a little. What he did want is he wanted more Bill of Rights, a Bill of Rights added to it. So he didn't support it as it was, but he was definitely looking for something stronger than the Articles of Confederation. So we'll talk about that. The primary people who supported this, the Federalists, were right here Hamilton. This is Hamilton. His name is missing. Hamilton. And Madison over here. Of course, he would be the primary author of the Constitution. And John Jay. So these are the three, Madison, Jay, and Hamilton, that were definitely supportive of the Constitution. And Adams supported it too, but he definitely just wanted to add, like Franklin, he wanted to add a Bill of Rights to it. Now, Jefferson's interesting because Jefferson didn't publicly criticize the Constitution, but he did want it to be improved. He did definitely wanted it to be improved. So you wouldn't put Jefferson as an anti-federalist, even though he wasn't part of the Federalist Party. He would be part of a new party, the Democratic Republicans, later. All right, let's get down to this. So let's look at the players first of all. So we have those who were the Federalists, just the primary people, like I said before, right? That was Hamilton. Fix that T. Madison, primary writer of the Constitution, and John Jay. So those are our three Federalists. And then the Anti-Federalists, who did not support the Constitution, people that you'll be familiar with: Samuel Adams, the leader of the Sons of Liberty, pretty much the agitator that could be responsible for starting this whole war, the Revolutionary War, cousin of John Adams. There's John Hancock. You know him from his famous signing of the Declaration of Independence. And Patrick Henry. And you know Patrick Henry's famous speech, "Give me liberty or give me death," which he said in the Virginia Constitution of 1775 when he was talking about the Revolution. And he supported the Revolution that would come a month later, on April 19th in Lexington. The Revolution started in 1775. So we have just some of the main people involved, the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists. And remember, the Federalists wanted the Constitution, and the Anti-Federalists wanted to keep the Articles of Confederation, which they had before. And so what the Articles of Confederation, which was signed in 1777, almost a year after the Declaration, strong state governments. I mean, that was the norm at the time. States each had power, and they didn't want to give that up. And that's what they had to do under the Constitution. Because under the Constitution, you wanted a strong central government. So strong central government versus a strong state government. Where the states have more power would be the Anti-Federalists, and where the central government had more power, you'd be a Federalist. But there's other things involved. So there's also, they wanted a Bill of Rights that wasn't part originally of the Constitution. This Bill of Rights would be certain freedoms, like the freedom of religion or freedom of speech. They wanted these Bill of Rights to be in the Constitution, whereas the Federalists said that they would be part of state governments. They also opposed slavery, and most people don't pick this up, but Anti-Federalists opposed slavery. They didn't specifically say the abolition of it, but they were opposed to slavery. And the Articles of Confederation, by the way, was where we got the name United States of America. It was states uniting together, a co-federation. And as far as the opposing to slavery and the Anti-Federalists, they looked at the Constitution, they looked at what it offered, and they saw hypocrisy. There wasn't freedom for everyone. So they opposed slavery. They were opposed to having slavery, and the Federalists basically did not want that added to the Constitution. And there's many reasons for that. It's not like they were favoring slavery, but some of them just wanted to sweep it under the rug for another generation. So let's get another clean page here. Go back if you need. Clear this out. So if we look at when this was going about, in 17, we know that the revolution ended in 17. Let's make sure we have a pen ready. Continue with the white. So in 1783, we know the revolution ended. And it actually officially ended September 3rd. Officially ended with the treaty. Fix that 8 over there. And so this Constitution convention was 1788. So before that, of course, they had the Articles of Confederation. So this debate, this whole debate of whether you want to ratify, here's that word ratify, that means to support and approve the Constitution, we had these branches coming about. Whether you were in for this Constitution, if you wanted to ratify it, you were a Federalist. And if you did not, you were an Anti-Federalist. And like I said before, some people didn't come out publicly whether they supported it or not. Washington did not make a case whether he supported it or not. Franklin said that, well, he wanted to see it improved. Jefferson said he wanted to see it improved. Jefferson and Franklin didn't say anything whether they opposed slavery, because Franklin didn't have slaves, but Jefferson did. But they both wanted a Bill of Rights added to it. So again, just a basic review. If you were a Federalist, you supported a strong national government and the Constitution. Now, if you were an Anti-Federalist, you wanted to keep the Articles of Confederation, you wanted strong state governments, and you opposed slavery, and you wanted a Bill of Rights. So that's basically the difference.